Hello everyone. In previous videos, we have learned how to perform all of these operations, like how to create a user, how to get all of the documents from the collection, how to get a singular document, how to update a particular document, or how to remove a document. But so far, we have not put any sort of validation, right? You can you have to verify if the previous user is created or is it not created. So stuff like that we have not done so far. Okay, so let's try and do that in this particular video. So this create is not async unlike all other functions. So let's make it async. And let's try and learn something cool. So let's say I want to verify if a certain user exists or not, right? So I will do something like this. So Copilot is suggesting that I use find one. So that is one way to do this, but we have already learned find one, right? So we will be learning something else in this video. User model dot exists. So we will be using this. So we can verify if the user exists by a particular email, by a ID, or by a username, depending upon how you want to use it, like how you want to filter out. So this is like a filtration object, similarly to the one that we use for find one and other different functions as well. So this is supposed to be returning true and false. We should also try to log this out, something like this. And let's put a check over here. If user exists, then we will use throw new HTTP exception. User already exists, something like this. So HTTP exception needs to be imported. I think it is already done so here. Yes, and let's save it now and see how it works. So what I did here is I will revise again. I used a different function which is exists. It accepts an object, filtration object. You can filter by any of the parameters or more than one parameters. So here I have used email parameter to verify if the user exists. You can do it by ID or username depending upon your own requirements. And I am logging it out here to see what actually is returned. And if user exists, then I should send an HTTP exception back to the front end to let them know that the user that is currently trying to sign up already exists in the system. If it doesn't exist, then simply just create that user. So this is what here is. So let's try and change it to something like Shameel 123 and make it simply Uddin and hit send. So this particular user is created. Let's try and see. So user exists, returned null because user did not exist here. Now let's try and hit send again. So now we have got the HTTP exception because user exists returned this particular object. So it is no longer null and doesn't qualify this particular check. So this is like one of the really important function that is like most widely used for your own validation purposes in whatever the project you're working on. So I hope this was very much similar to understand. So what you can do is you can go ahead and put all of these validations in these functions as well. Find one, update, and remove. For example, you don't want to update a user which doesn't exist, right? You don't want to remove a user which doesn't exist. Similarly, I don't think it is much needed in find one and find all, but you can try and implement different sort of logics and see what works for you and what doesn't work. So I hope it was much simpler for you to understand. So thank you for watching.